What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy. What's up, football fans? This is the last weekend of the year to get your football bets in. I've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, and right now it's the perfect time to take your shot at the crown. DraftKings is giving all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly when they place their first $5 bet on anything. How dope is that? There's no time like the present. Download the DraftKings Sports app now and sign up using my promo code TBC. That's the Breakfast Club. TBC. The crown is yours. That's right. New customers who bet $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Wondering what you can use your $200 in bonus bets on? Combine multiple bets together from Super Bowl 58 for a shot at an even bigger payout. If you're already signed up on DraftKings, like me, you can make a bet on the Super Bowl 58 and get a bonus bet back. Get a bonus bet in the amount of your initial wager. Max reward varies. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, which happens, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have a shot at winning cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code TBC. That's my code TBC and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code TBC only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
The legendary
Kenan Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
Oh, man. Thank you very much. Good morning, my brothers. How y'all feeling?
How
morning,
you feeling,
Black man.
We good.
Man, we checking in, man. Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. How you feeling for real, my brother? How you feeling? Like, what's your energy like?
Great. My energy is great, man. Like, you know, we having another good season over there. It's 49, about to be the 50th. So it's getting real over there, man. That 50th celebration, I think, is going to be big. The last time at the 40th was a lot of people. So
The thing about Kenan, you wouldn't even know if he was doing bad. Kenan's demeanor is always the same regardless.
That's that Taurus energy, man. Let me take my glasses off. Yeah, no, we good.
now we good.
We good.
We good.
You
We
know,
good.
We chilling.
I was gonna ask, you know, when you see so many things pop off on social or on this world, is it? I guess it's good for you because you're like, oh yeah, this is it. This is a skit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, characters in the world or events in the world definitely help, you know, kind of trigger ideas and stuff like that. Especially the crazier, the better, or anybody that sounds funny, the better. But at the same time, you know, it's hard on comedy these days. You know, you got to like really be smart about your approach, especially, you know, depending on the topic and stuff like that. You know, I don't really go out there to offend people necessarily, but sometimes it happens, and you know, you gotta like learn from it, hopefully, and just move on. You know, knowing that, you know, your intentions were good in the first place, kind of thing. Like, we just trying to heal, basically. That's what comedy is supposed to be doing.
Is there anything that you won't touch or that y'all come together and be like, this would be funny, but not right now?
Yeah, I mean, especially, you know, we on network TV, so it's not like we can just, you know, say and do whatever, but at the same time, you know, some topics it might be too early to be trying to, you know, find a laugh on kind of thing. And, you know, some certain topics ain't nothing funny about it. So,
Like too soon, like Donnell Rollins like to say too soon. You think there are some too soon topics?
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely, I mean, Gilbert Gottfried killed his career with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't remember what it was.
He tweeted something about like 9/11 or something. And it was just like, you know, there's no reason to like try to be the first one with a joke on that topic necessarily, and it'll probably be too soon for 200 years kind of thing, you know what I mean? Just because it was such a large tragedy.
Why are you bringing up people's old tweets, Kenan? Don't do that.
I'm just saying it was an example, you know, and rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? But like that was an example.
I forgot Gilbert Gottfried died.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He was the Aflac duck, and then all of a sudden it was not anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So yeah, you gotta be smart about it.
And you know, you got a new book out. When I was your age,
I should have brought the book.
I wanted to hear just to have it propped up.
I'm slipping. My bad.
When I was your age, life lessons, funny stories, and questionable parenting advice from a professional clown. Yeah. First of all, what made you want to write a book? Because you always have been a very private person.
Yeah, it's the longest title ever.
It is.
I just felt it was time, you know, like a lot of people, I guess, in my position, a lot of my heroes have written books. You know what I'm saying? You got 7, right?
2.
Yeah.
Working on the 3rd.
So, and people approached me. I was just trying to, you know, make sure I had enough to talk about for like people that actually read books, you know. And luckily, I worked with a great collaborator, Dibs Bear. Shout out you know. And yeah, we put together a pretty good book from what I'm hearing. Like the people that have read it seem to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like 300 pages or nothing, you know, which was kind of strange. I'm like, damn, that's my life story. Like
That's it. That's all I got.
That's all I got. You know, but it has definitely been, you know, a really cool thing to share with the world, and you know, tell my story, tell my parents' story, and you know, siblings. You know what I'm saying? And like let people, you know, kind of know the real me, the origin story kind of thing that I don't necessarily get to tell on, you know, talk shows and stuff like that, because you usually want to just talk about the current thing you're there to promote or whatever. So yeah, it was a cool experience.
Explain the long ass title, because there's a lot there.
Yeah. You know, it's just like, I guess I've been doing it for so long that I had, you know, a lot to kind of display. You know what I'm saying? So I had to kind of explain what my position is in this world so far in a capturing kind of title, and kind of tell people like what the book is, so they want to grab it and read it. You know what I mean? And like that's probably why the title is so lengthy. But you know, there's also some comedy there because yeah, it is so long. And yeah, the good wordage of like being a professional clown and stuff like that. You know, like I take that really seriously. Like I'm an actor. You know, so like when I'm clowning around, it's usually for hire kind of thing. You know, I'm as you can see, like my demeanor is pretty level. You say like I don't really even be getting stressed out, or my demeanor doesn't change much. But yeah, big Taurus energy over here, you know what I'm saying? And like,
But you don't seem hard-headed, though. Most Tauruses I know hard-headed.
I get stubborn about when I think I'm right.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm very go with the flow kind of thing.
Do your kids take you serious, or do they always see daddy as the clown and the joke and the laughter?
I'm the clown, and I'm definitely in their way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in their way for having fun or whatever they want to do. Like, you know, when they around their friends, they don't want, you know, old fuddy-duddies around them, you know? So they definitely think they're funnier than me, and they probably are. Like they definitely like make me laugh. But that's that dynamic. You know, you could be, you know, Michael Jordan's son and think that your dad just only plays basketball as opposed to being Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You know?
Why do you call your parenting advice questionable? Or was that your parents' advice was questionable? Which one is it?
No, I mean, it's probably mine, you know, just, you know, coming from a place where, like, I don't know everything right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just figuring it out kind of on the fly as it goes, basically. Yeah.
But we all are, though. Like being a
Absolutely.
parent is on-the-job training. Like, there's no manual for parenting. So I don't even beat myself up when I don't get it right. I'll apologize to my kids and try to do better next time.
Exactly. That's it. And yeah, I mean, when you give advice to people, it's not like I want to be like, you know, I'm the official voice on parenting kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So you should be able to question like what I'm offering kind of to the world if it doesn't work for you and your household kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to like tell everybody exactly what to do with their kids, basically.
Would you want your kids to get in this industry?
Sure. I mean, if they take it seriously, you know what I mean? Like I got drama faces tatted on my back, you know, so I take it very seriously. And growing up, it was, you know, there wasn't no automatic, you know, there wasn't as many platforms as there are now. So many, like, you know, different kind of ways to get into the business. It was very specific. You audition, they tell you yes or no, you know. And coming from Atlanta, the auditions were less and less. It was mostly commercials or theater, stuff like that, which I'm grateful for because, like, my theater training is, like, you know, that's everything. You know what I mean? Like, that taught me everything about being an actor. And being around other actors that have been in the business a long time, you know, done a movie here and there, some Spike Lee joints or whatever. But when you're in between the times, that's when it's like your real dedication, you know, comes through, because being a starving artist is no joke, you know what I'm saying? And it's a reality for, I would say, more than the majority of people, you know, in the business. Like a lot of people are like living like check to check, especially if you don't know how to subsidize with another job. So, yeah.
You got a chapter titled called "I'm Glad I Went Broke." When did that happen? You've been working since at least '94.
Yeah. Like I've been blessed to continue working, but yeah, I had a bad accountant, and it came to the light around '99, like around 2000, which was really bad timing because that's right when I left my consistent gig. You know what I'm saying? So then I went into being an adult actor for hire, and that is very hit and miss. So there was, you know, some good jobs. Like I did Felicity, that was cool. And I got to meet J.J. Abrams when he was young, you know what I'm saying? And that's like a priceless kind of a friendship, I would say, just because he's grown to be, you know, such a major force in the industry. But it was like 6 months until Love Don't Cost a Thing. You know what I mean? And I was happy to get Love Don't Cost a Thing. It was my brother Nick's movie.
Nick
you know,
Cannon.
we had
Christina
the rap party
Malone.
at my house. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah.
At your
what's
house?
up. Yeah. I was renting this house that had a bunch of space or whatever. But, you know, we was young. So it was like, yeah, move all the furniture to the side and let's just, you know, throw a party and like invite everybody kind of thing back in those days. So that was fun, but it was still broke. You know what I mean? Like just money enough for the rent kind of thing. And yeah, that, you know, the accountant was dirty, and I ended up not letting that be the end all be all of what my life is going to be. So I just, you know, moved back to Cali and continued.
How much did the accountant get you for?
$1.5 million.
Damn.
Something like that. I mean, that was, you know, my contractual like deal at the time or whatever. But
For Good Burger?
for like overall Nickelodeon existence,
yeah.
for a few years or whatever. And then I never saw none of it.
So you that ain't funny. You walked away from
That ain't funny, but he laughing over there. You over there about to tear.
No, that ain't funny. So you walked away from Nickelodeon, the overall deal. You didn't age out?
It was just up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we didn't feel like, you know, we wanted to continue like Kenan and Kel to college. Like we couldn't figure it out, basically. And we were just like, I think we should just go figure out what it looks like for us to be adult performers for the world. And it was just like reproving grounds. It was almost like starting over, you know, because like everybody wanted to treat us like kids or keep us in a category or whatever, and we just had to like learn how to prove ourselves. And for me, you know, SNL was the biggest bridge, you know, as far as like adults taking me seriously as an adult, because we were already grown, you know, we was in our 20s, you know, so we didn't want to be like 30 years old still trying to play a kid on Nickelodeon. And yeah, the timing of that was just crazy. So it was a couple years of like, man, I don't know about this whole like, you know, one job here, one job there, like every few months kind of thing, because the bills come, you know what I mean, every month, no matter what. And yeah, you know, thank God life goes in a cycle. So when I was feeling down, I would, you know, get a gig, and I would like, you know, start trending upward, and then, you know, trending further upward from Love Don't Cost a Thing to Barbershop 2, you know what I mean? And then Barbershop 2 left there and like went to audition from SNL. Like,
Do you remember that when you auditioned and they called you back and said you got the part? Do you remember that?
1,000,000%, because it was a long process. You know what I'm saying? Like, came to New York straight from Chicago from shooting Barbershop, like feeling great or whatever, and then seeing what you up against. And it was every black comic you could even possibly think of, right? So I had to do stand-up at the stand-up New York. I had never done stand-up before. It was a nightmare. And then I saw Kel, and I hadn't seen him in a while, you know what I'm saying, like at the audition. And that was awkward. But it was like, you know, good luck or whatever. And then I did 3 minutes of something terrible because I wasn't a stand-up comic. I didn't know how to address the crowd at all. I think I just started with
So that was part of the audition. You had to do stand-up.
Yeah. Because
So you walked out there and was like, hi.
I don't
My
even
name
think I
is-
said hi. I think I just went right into like Al Sharpton or something, like talking to Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean?
What?
Just like in my, like a kid in his own room, basically, like playing in the mirror kind of thing. And yeah, it didn't go well, but they saw something and I got a call back that was in the studio. That felt more comfortable. I was used to that, you know what I mean? So I did that same kind of shtick with a couple more minutes added on or whatever. And then I went home for a week and didn't hear nothing, you know what I mean? And that was just like torture.
You thought it was a wrap.
I thought it was over. I thought I ruined it. And, you know, SNL is one of those jobs, if you don't get it, you live with that, you know, kind of for the rest of your life. Or if things go left when you do get it, you know what I mean? Like, that's not an experience you really just forget or, like, be like, oh, that's in the past. I can just move on. Like, it stays with you, you know? So, yeah, that week was torture. And then they called and they were like, all right, we want you to try one more time at the Laugh Factory. I was like, more stand-up, you know what I mean?
Why didn't you just tell them I'm not a stand-up?
I didn't want to rock the boat, you know what I mean?
You don't tell them no, you're trying to get a job. But how you
Yeah,
doing
but
that?
stand-up is,
You know?
man, stand-up is the most difficult thing I feel like anybody can do in comedy.
It really is. And I also wasn't really aware of the second city and groundlings of it all because I'm not an improver. I just like started working, you know, from like age 12, you know, from doing commercials to theater to, you know, movies or whatever. So I didn't really have a chance to like go to school for performing necessarily. Like that was my school. So yeah, more stand-up, and I, you know, didn't want to rock the boat, and it was a terrible night for me because the other 4 people were actually stand-ups, you know what I mean, and they were killing. J.B. Smoove, Finesse Mitchell, you know what I mean, D-Ray.
Oh,
like
man.
it was, you know, it was a lineup, and they was destroying. And then I went up there and did my little bullshit and like.
Where were you? Were you first? Were you fourth? Were you second?
I was last.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you went after D-Ray, JB, and Finesse Mitchell?
Jesus Christ.
Yep. And Kyle Grooms. And like
Kyle Grooms too?
Yeah. I think Kyle, but I know Kyle was in New York, but I think he was in LA too. But I know I went last after a bunch of brilliant comics. And I was so nervous, man. I was drinking out the sink because that was the bathroom and like the bar was over there. So I didn't want to like go back and forth, you know what I mean? Like interrupt or anything like that.
So you really wanted to kill it, but you couldn't get to it.
You know, but I was so nervous. Like I was just like, man, I can't quench my thirst. I'm drinking water.
New York water
like,
back then was, I'm sure
I'm like
tequila.
filling it up with the sink water and like still, and I was just like crazy nervous. But
did you get booed?
I didn't get booed. So that was, you know, definitely not a dagger. Because if I would have got booed, I don't even know if I would have wanted the job because I would have felt like I didn't deserve it. But then after that, they called the next day. And then I think they called on a Saturday and I was in New York on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. And now you're the longest running cast member. I want to go back to this 1.5 million. How do you lose 1.5 million dollars? Because I know you said it, but I know people are listening like, how does that happen?
We gave that dude power of attorney when we shouldn't have. You know
Y'all were
what I mean?
kids.
Yeah, I was a kid and my mom was trying to protect me. You know what I mean? And he had helped her out of her like tax situations, like her and my dad's like tax situations. So she thought she could trust him, but she could trust him with like they 30 to 50 grand issues kind of shit. But like when it's like $1 million on the table, you never know what people gonna turn into. And apparently he turned into a demon. And you know, I'm sure his karma has come back to him. But if it wasn't for that, I don't know if, you know, my track would be the same because I was ready to settle into Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like I was ready to just be like, no, I'm good. And like, you know, it's 3.5 hours to LA. So if they need me, they can call me kind of thing. But I don't think I would have been as hungry or, you know, as, you know, dedicated necessarily. Like I was dedicated to Atlanta. Like Atlanta was, you know, my everything basically. So I was very comfortable there and very willing to just be like around the corner from my mama and be happy kind of thing.
You couldn't sue the accountant or nothing?
I did, and I won, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But he can't pay, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's just paperwork, basically.
You want to spending more money to sue him and not get no money back.
1,000,000%, you know, and I sued him for years and ended up winning. But I sued him because the IRS came after me, you know what I'm saying? And they were like, you haven't paid your taxes all the time. I'm like, well, that's what he was supposed to be doing, and he went and ran it. Don't y'all see? Like, I ain't got the money, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but.
And Uncle Sam don't care.
They don't care.
At all. They want their money, you know? So I got my settlement and it's on that person now. But as far as like me getting that money back, and I knew it as soon as it happened, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't never gonna see that money. You know, I might as well just get back and start from scratch and just, you know, forget about it. If it comes back, great. But, you know, it has yet to. But I've been blessed in so many other ways. Like, I take those life lessons and just learn from them.
I feel so sorry for everybody in that situation because they don't teach us financial literacy when in the communities we come from, but then when we get people that we think are supposed to have our best interests in that way, and they take advantage. It's like, man, how can you ever trust somebody again? A black man, god damn.
An elder black man.
Damn.
Come on, my brother.
How can you trust somebody ever again?
Because, like, you want to try to keep hope. You know, you want to try to keep hope on humanity. You know what I mean?
You turned to Jesse Jackson just now, Kenan.
You try to keep hope alive. You know, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like I've never been one to be like, oh, he's a piece of shit, so this next person might be. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a chance to kind of prove themselves to be what they are.
I was gonna ask, when did you get comfortable in Saturday Night Live? Because you had to be nervous, you know, when you first starting off. You with all these people that's been there before, and when did you get comfortable?
It took a while because you have a writer's burden on SNL, and I didn't come from that. You know, I just came from being given scripts, and then I do what I do. And, like, if we ad-lib something, then they'll put it in or whatever, but I was never, like, part of that process. So it was, like, a learning thing as I went along, and I don't think I was, like, comfortable until I got my first personal idea on the show, and that was, like, season 5.
Wow.
Yeah, Scared Straight. Shout out to Scared Straight.
Why that role in particular?
What, Scared Straight?
Yeah, like why did that make you the most comfortable?
Well, that was just the first one that I got on, and I was like, oh, I finally like made my sense of humor make sense in this place.
Gotcha.
Thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, like I just felt like up until that point, my ideas were going all over the place. I didn't really know how to really collab with writers, or I would collab off of their ideas as opposed to something personal to me. You know what I mean? And then like I started to like learn how to bring forward the black zeitgeist. You know what I'm saying? And like make that appealing, basically.
Is SNL going to go on after 50? Because I remember when I interviewed you on my late night show, you said you think you should end it at 50.
I mean, I thought it would be a good number to stop at if that was the case, but I don't think it is. I think they're going to keep it running. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make a difference if it winds up stopping at 72. Like, it doesn't really matter, but 50, it just felt like such a good package. It's like, you know, here's 50 years of SNL, Time Warner, you know what I mean? Sell that around the clock or whatever, DVDs, this, that, and the other. It's just a nice round number. Like, if they get to 100, great. If they get to 200, you know what I mean? Incredible. It doesn't really matter, but I've never seen a TV show outside of like a game show or a soap opera go past 30 years, 20 years. Like, that's just crazy. So I didn't really know how long it was going to take. And then if dude was going to retire, after that year.
Lorne Michaels?
Yeah, it might be, it might be smart to pause it or something like that. But at the same time, Tina can do it. I can do it.
Tina Fey.
Yeah, Steve Higgins can. There's a lot of people that can keep it going. It's just, will it have the same support, like budget-wise kind of thing? Like, if you slash the budget, it's a completely different show, and then that's not fair to whoever's in that chair. So it's up to them, you know what I'm saying? But from what I'm hearing, I think it's probably going to continue.
Did you ever feel like you didn't have support of the culture, the community? Because starting off as a new culture, any black comedian that's on Saturday Night Live, they always say, oh, he's a token black, or he's not that funny. It's like the hate comes first. Did you ever feel that?
I mean, yeah, and anytime I do something that's, pushing boundaries or anything like that, there's a lot of pushback, So I definitely felt like the majority of black people weren't like, yo, Saturday Night Live is my show. You know what I mean? It just felt like, oh, you on that white show. You know what I mean? When people talk to you about it. But, I took that and was like, all right, well, if that's how y'all feel, you must not really know, kind of the history of the show and who's really come out of there. You know what I'm saying? And it's just as much our show as anybody else's kind of thing because, we have, the biggest star probably in movie history probably coming out there. Yeah,
Yeah, I've never heard people say that there's token blacks on SNL. It just was always, there wasn't enough black people on SNL.
It was, one at a time for a while,
Because the black people they have are black.
Yeah.
Eddie didn't try not to be black. Tracy Morgan didn't try not to be black. Like, they went for it.
I don't think Tracy can help himself.
No, Tracy can help himself.
But yeah, that was part of the conversation that I was talking about when it was time to get more black women in the show. It's just like my quote that was heavily misquoted or whatever was just the fact that, the pool to choose from isn't large, basically, as far as the people that are ready to do that show. Like, it's not, I personally didn't know about the Groundlings in Second City, you know what I'm saying? So let alone, a whole bunch of us knowing about it. And yeah, it's just, it's slim pickings sometimes. So it is kind of one at a time as far as like discovering the next person that is ready, because a lot of us might have other interests, athletics, music business and stuff like that might seem cooler to the culture and stuff. So, when it is time to like look for the next, they might be, there might be slim choices kind of thing. But I think that's expanding and, the more we, continue to display the fact that we can do it and that, you should open up the doors and look a little harder if that's the case. You find your Leslie Joneses and your Ego Wodems, you know what I'm saying, and your Sashir Jamedas and you give people, an opportunity to show you that we can do this as well kind of thing. And, I think that's kind of like what my words should have been in that quote. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even remember the quote.
The quote that they say I said was that, black women ain't funny, but that's not what I said. It was like,
that's better though. That's a good one.
That one goes viral.
No,
that one goes over.
You need that. You got to think about the person writing the story.
Black women ain't funny. Like, no.
Kenan Thompson says black women ain't funny.
That's basically how they blasted me, like, for a while. And, Leslie was mad. Like, before she met me, she was like, let that motherfucker come over here and I'll burn his ass up. First of all, I didn't say that. And when we first met, that was clarified in 2 seconds because, when you meet me, I'm not outside the culture like that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't disrespect my black women at all. Because how would my mother look at me? How would my sister look at me? My cousins, my this, that, my that. I'm not an idiot, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not detached from the world either like that, you know what I'm saying? So I would never say something so egregious. But my point was, yeah, man, like I'm sure there's small, low numbers, in those improv houses, wherever they might be. So if I'm wrong, let me be wrong. But I don't think I am, because I've been in the business a long time and I go to shows a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I be looking, and I look back on history. Like when you watch Chris Farley in his Second City days or whatever, and you look at the background in his performance, it was Tim Meadows. It wasn't like it was Tim Meadows and there's Kevin and there's Joe and there's this, that, and they all black and together, and only Tim got the shot. It was just Tim Meadows there. You know what I'm saying? That was it.
The problem with headlines is there's no nuance to headlines, because headlines can't be nuanced. Like if you tried to nuance a headline, it'd look like the title of your book. So it has to be something quick, you know what I mean?
It has to be sharp.
Yes.
So like I get it, and it, they did their job throwing me under the bus like that. You know what I'm saying? And it
that
worked for them.
That bus driven by black women is no joke.
But at the same time, you got to look towards the positive, and the positive is it did open the doors for some people, even if it was, me having to be the scapegoat or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I can't be mad at it.
How much longer?
I can be, but, God got a plan.
Mm-hmm. How much longer does Kenan want to do SNL?
I don't know. That question continues to vary. Like it all kind of starts depending on like what the kids want to do and where the kids want to be, and like how much more time can I spend with them if possible, and also like, are people getting tired of my moves? You know what I'm saying? Like, are people getting tired of seeing me on the show all the time and stuff like that? So it also is a long schedule and takes up most of the year kind of thing. So, it might be time for like to make room for other opportunities at the same time. But I want to see that 50th at least. Sure.
Is it scary for you when you think about, all right, last time I walked away from a steady gig?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I've been there 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I am not in no hurry to like get back to that.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there and done that. You know what I mean?
That's a guaranteed check.
Yeah, and it's a guaranteed way of life, which is rare for an actor. Like a lot of actors is at the airport. You know what I'm saying? And some cats is going to New Zealand for 10 years. Like I can't really afford to do that with small children. You know what I mean? Like I love them.
So at the 50th, you might walk away.
See how he tried to put you on a headline?
I mean, it could be, it could not. It all depends. It all depends on how that season goes as well. You know what I mean? Because like right now we only halfway through 49, and that's a lot of ideas and a lot of sketches. There's a lot of chances to do something like brilliant and stuff like that, but it's also a lot of chances to kind of like, show people that I've been there a long time, which is like, it's not necessarily great when you're trying to create things fresh and new and you want the show to feel fresh and new. You know what I mean? So I've been, kind of happy to be in the background or see like Devin get a sketch on finally, you know what I mean? Like for himself kind of thing like he did, on Saturday, like I was like very happy for him for that. Like, cause other things have been like collaborative or he'll have a part here and there, but a whole sketch to himself, I think that might've been his first one on Saturday. And that's a big step, you know what I'm saying? And that's how the show continues to move on through history. So if I need to move to the side to allow for those things to happen and just like come in at the end of the sketch or whatever and help or whatever, I'm good doing that. Like I've had my moments where, I put up an idea and like people are singing it as they decorate their Christmas tree. Like, what's up with that? You know what I'm saying? And like that's something that like went hyper viral, and I hear about it to this day. I did that for the first time 14 years ago, something crazy like that, maybe 17 years ago. What season am I on? 21? Yeah, 14 years ago, something. You know what I mean? Like, that's a long time, bro. And we do 20 shows a season. That's a lot of sketches and a lot of different characters and stuff like that. So, I mean, long story short, if I feel like I'm still creating and it's not a headache for people, you know what I mean? Then yeah, I'll keep it going.
Because financially, you got to be good. It's not like you're going to be in line at the food bank that you're an ambassador of.
Man. Shout out to the food bank,
That's
man.
right.
They doing really, really great things over there.
We're ambassadors of the food bank.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're ambassadors for, leaving nobody behind. You know what I'm saying? And like, I love that. Financial wise, yeah, we're doing all right, and we're going to continue to do so. But at any given moment, you know what I mean? And also, like, there's a lot of things going on in the world. So if anything happens, like, worldly that, you don't have no control of, it don't matter what we got in the bank kind of thing. So
that's right.
Try to celebrate the day, man, as it goes.
I was going to ask, when you watch things that happen, do you have an opinion, or as in, do you care, or is it the first thing a sketch, right? So Shannon Sharpe Katt Williams, right? He's going crazy. Are you thinking, oh, this is a sketch and this is how I'm going to break it down? Or are you thinking, damn, why is he going at so many people?
Well, some things are obviously going to be a sketch. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, this is definitely going to be a sketch. Only because, like, Katt Williams is a good impression. You know what I mean? Shannon Sharpe is a good impression. And this is definitely a moment that everybody has seen, right? So it's going to be like, you know, whoever's first to get the sketch up, basically, at that point. There's a lot of nighttime shows that could have done it, you know what I mean, or whatever. But when we do it, it's on a different level because, like, our departments are crazy. Like, our wig department, our wardrobe, you know what I mean, our sets, like
the audience.
The whole team, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, the whole team is, like, on super-duper point because they've been doing it for forever. And they take it serious. They love it, you know what I mean? It's a family, like a generational kind of family that work there. So, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, we're doing this for sure. I wish we weren't on break. And everybody was texting me like, I know y'all about to do this weekend. I'm like, man, we off for another week and a half, bro. And everyone's like, oh, my God, we got to wait. But shout out to Ego, man. You know what I mean? She was able to, like, get it and, like, yeah, they destroyed it. And I was eating it up because it was entertaining. Like, the first time I watched it, and I was like, oh, snap. You know, he's spilling everything, you know. And I was enjoying it that way. And then, of course, you know, the elders started chiming in, and like when Dave chimed in, like, why are you painting us with such a, you know, why you painting dirty, ugly pictures of us or whatever? It's like, all right, I got to calm down. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, take that into mind, the fact that, you know, the bigger picture is we are supposed to be pushing uphill together kind of thing. And, yeah, it was like, all right, well, you know, maybe we shouldn't be, you know, lashing out or throwing each other under the bus or whatever. But, you know, at first I was like, oh, I love this. You know, yeah.
As a comedian, is that something you would want to get mentioned in? Would you want Katt to say your name?
Nah, I don't want to be in nobody drama. I don't want to be in nobody drama at all. You know what I'm saying? Especially, like, you know, the topics that they were discussing. I'm like, I could be on the wrong side of this at any given moment if they want to mention me. But my perspective on that, in my mind, doesn't have me on the wrong side of it. But, you know, people have their opinion.
You might be a plant to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you go from Good Burger to SNL and be there for 20 years? Yeah.
You know, like, that's his opinion on that. And it's dismissive, unfortunately, of, you know, like, Kevin's been showing up to work all this time. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, even if he was like planning and being like, all right, here's a movie for you, he had to still do that movie. He had to show up to this. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like,
don't say that, Kenan. Even if he was planted,
like,
he wasn't planted.
Even if he was just given an opportunity that doesn't come as easy to others, say it like that. You know what I'm saying? He still had to take it and run with it. You know what I mean? And do all the stand up and do all the other TV shows, movies, and this, that, and the other, and like continue his track of professionalism. So, like, industry plants, unfortunately, dismisses the work ethic of an individual.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think
like nepotism. Like, you know, a lot of people want to do for their children in any kind of environment, whether it's Hollywood or corporate America. You know what I'm saying? But if the child becomes successful, it's not just because the dad patted them along the entire time. You know what I mean? Usually they have a work ethic and they want to actually go out there and make those connections and make people see them. You know what I mean? So try not to dismiss the individual just because they have an opportunity that you might not have had, kind of thing.
And I want to shout out to two black men who first put Kevin in movies, Damon Dash and Russ Parr. Two black men put Kevin in his first project.
Was that Soul Plane?
Nah, before Soul Plane, it was Death of a Dynasty. It was State. Well, not State Property. Was it State Property?
He was in State Property.
Yeah, State Property, Death of a Dynasty.
He was in State Property?
Yeah, and Russ.
Was in State Property.
No, Paper Soldiers. Paper Soldiers. Not State Property. Paper Soldiers.
Okay.
And Russ Parr put him in something too, but I cannot remember the name of it. But they were the first two people to put him in movies.
Shout out to Dame. Shout out to Russ, man.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Like, anybody that's giving you a leg up in this business, like, shout them out the whole time, you know?
Do you make a call to people?
A lot of people. You know, I started young, so the people that helped me, like, worked at Nickelodeon, they not necessarily, like, names or whatever. But, like, the producers of all that in Kenan and Kel was, like, Brian Robbins, you know what I'm saying, and Mike Tolan, and, you know, Mike has gone on to do, like, more sports kind of documentary kind of stuff. And Brian is, like, the head of Paramount now, you know. But they were definitely big helps. Lauren is a big help. Theater teachers, you know, my high school, you know, drama teacher, Mr. Freddie Hendricks, shout out. You know, people like that, they're just, as opposed to help, just gave me game. You know what I'm saying? And gave me game about surviving the game, but also how to like be a real performer and be professional and show up on time and kill it.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask, do you make a phone call when you're about to do a skit or do something about somebody you know? Something happens to somebody that you F with.
I should, but I
you
don't. No.
So they see it.
I just take it like,
damn. So you got those calls before, like, bro.
Oh yeah, Steve Harvey didn't love it. He didn't love it at first.
What don't say?
Yeah.
What do you say?
He was just like, hey, watch yourself, because
Hey, watch yourself.
Yeah, like he's a grown man from the streets of Cleveland. Or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Shaker Heights.
He's just a big guy, and like he comes from like the knuckle up generation where you had to really get out there and get it in the cold, working at factories or whatever he did, But yeah, at first he was like, "Hey, little rerun, watch yourself." I was like, "All right."
He called you rerun?
Yeah.
No, man.
So he called you or you ran into him?
He would say it on his show. He would say it on the radio and stuff like that. So I would like eventually like call in and be like, "Hey man, you good?" Like once we did like an interview or something like that. But whenever I would speak to him, it was always love. You know what I'm saying? But I just think he had to like make his stance kind of known for his audience.
Hey, little rerun.
I ain't gonna be playing with blah blah blah. But Steve's also been another mentor because we was on his show back in the day, and he gave me a lot of game, basically, about just growing up and not treating the business so young just because you young. There's a lot of like adults out here that's working really hard that's got like real problems when they go home, or like life is serious enough, so you can't just be playing all the time, basically.
How's fatherhood changed you? Because you got a chapter called "Everything I Need to Know About Life I Learned from My Girls." I got 4 girls. You got 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How does fatherhood change you?
I mean, it really like showed me life outside of my own personal perspective as far as how I approach the day. You know what I mean? Like, and living for others kind of thing, which was like very different. Like when you're in a relationship, it's different. Like you're still both grown individuals, so you expect the other individual to like be able to take care of certain basics or whatever because they grown. But with a child, it's like, no, they need you for everything. You know what I'm saying? In their first few years or the first decade, or even for the rest of their life, whatever it is, they need you in such a way that it's like it never turns off. And I had never really experienced that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you have to be aware of, and know what's going on with your kids like on a 24-hour basis, 365. It's not like you could take a week off just because it's Christmas.
That's right. And what did you learn? What have you learned from your girls?
Patience, definitely a lot of patience. Emotion, like being able to like just embrace having emotional moments, you know what I mean? Because when we were growing up, it was either suck it up, take a lap, do this or that and the other kind of thing, and never really like sit in what's really bothering you kind of thing and shake it off. You know what I mean? Like we had all those kind of like sayings from coaches and things like that, or, just growing up as a man, like, be a man, suck it up kind of thing. And you would hear that. But they taught me like it's okay to, feel these feelings kind of thing and like understand what may be causing them and kind of work through it. But also like the perspective of a child, because we go around like, kind of looking and not really seeing the world maybe just because we're seeing it at our height. You know what I mean? When you're smaller, you see probably a bigger picture and stuff like that. Kind of stop and smell the roses kind of vibe, basically. Yeah.
Who's your biggest critic?
Myself. Yep. Because I'm the one that sees it all. You know what I'm saying? Like some people watch things and they just enjoy it surface level, but I'm watching like, oh snap, my shoes untied, or little shit like my hair. I need a haircut.
You still got a hairline though.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? That's all a black man can ask for. You know what I'm saying? You get to a certain age, you still got a hairline. God bless you, brother.
God bless. So like, all that kind of stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I need a haircut, but like, thank God I do have hair, kind of thing. So
that's a stab at you, Charlotte.
Yeah, man.
I get haircuts. What the hell you talking about? I get shaved. I get a fresh bald.
Call it a haircut or is it a shave?
It's a shave. I get a fresh baldy.
Okay.
It just starts right here. The hairline starts here, in the middle of the forehead.
Do you do your own or you go somewhere?
Oh no, I go to a barber with my man Ty.
Every time?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
But you know why though? I like, first of all, my guy Ty even cut me.
right? All the treatment, hot
Exactly.
towel.
There you go.
Okay.
Exactly.
You
In the
wanna be perfect.
conversation.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, catching up.
Yeah, I mean, that therapy is good. I love therapy too, but you know, when you go into a barbershop and you just kicking it, plus I got all girls.
Right.
So it's good to get out the house and get to go to the barbershop with
He's
the
an
bros,
excuse,
the you know what I'm
Man,
saying?
like, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Charlamagne pampers himself, so I take my daughters to this manicurist and pedicurist. Right?
Oh, that's nice.
Charlamagne is always there.
They love me in there
They
too.
were like every time I go there, they be like, "Oh, I see your friend." I went there the other day. Charlamagne is always in there.
Hey, man.
They love it. He all the
Now,
time.
Take a lesson. Stay clean out there.
That's
ladies and
right.
gentlemen. You know, like I bite my nails, unfortunately.
Why, man?
Habit.
No,
It's
man, you
just a
got to go get
habit,
you a
man.
manicure, pedicure, Kenan, man.
I
You
don't
deserve
have
it.
I can't sit there like that. I don't think I have patience to just sit there and like let people tickle me. I'm also really ticklish. I'm also really ticklish.
You look ticklish.
Yeah, I'm ticklish. I like
He
to have
do.
a good time.
Don't Kenan look
Say
ticklish?
what?
Oh, you do.
Why does he look ticklish?
You don't think he look ticklish?
Well, man, you look
You
ticklish.
do. What you do?
Well, if that's the case, it's the truth because I am ticklish. Yeah.
When did you first realize that, Kenan?
What?
When I got tickled, like, as a little kid, you know what I mean? Like, I would tickle, you know, that was actually like, oh, that feels funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Nobody
know.
does that to you as an adult, though.
No, grown men shouldn't be tickling other because it usually, you know, they like, what do you want you to do? No.
Kenan is like,
Somebody
where are
gonna
we
tickle you this
Yeah,
weekend.
just have a good time.
tickle.
You know, ain't nothing.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
you and Kel just reconnected too, but well, not
Yeah,
just
man.
reconnected, but y'all did Good Burger too.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my brother, man. Word.
Now, I don't know if to say how did y'all get back on good terms because I don't know if y'all was ever on bad terms.
No, and I don't think. I mean, but at the same time, you know, hearsay and stuff like that can push it in that direction if you don't get like the real answer from the individual. And since there was a period where we weren't really in that much communication, it, you know, there were probably inklings of that kind of energy or whatever. But once we actually did speak on the phone because we were doing a Good Burger sketch on the Tonight Show or whatever, you know, and we hadn't spoken in years, you know what I'm saying? And we knew we had to like at least talk before we go perform to each other. It was a 2-second reconciliation, you know what I mean? It was like time had never gone by basically. And it felt like such a blessing to me, and I feel like to him as well, you know, to have each other back in each other's lives, you know what I mean? Because we do work so well together and we had established, you know what I mean, something so beloved that it would be a crime to kind of just let it go into the wind just because, you know, we wanted, you know, individual career identities kind of thing. You know, we didn't always want to be just Kenan and Kel. Like, my name is Kenan Thompson and his name is Kel Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? And like, not a lot of people were willing to recognize that at the time. So that's kind of like where that drift apart started happening. And then, you know, as life does, you know, like different experiences are happening. So it just takes you, and then the next thing you look up and we haven't spoken in 7 years or something crazy like that, or 10 or whatever it was. So for us to reconcile and do the Good Burger sketch, that was 6-7 years ago, something like that. That was really, really nice. And then
That was sparked the Good Burger too.
that's kind of sparked like, yo, I think we need to do this. And they were going to do a cartoon. And we was like, I think you should do the movie first and then do the cartoon. Like, everybody's been kind of asking for a sequel since the first one kind of thing. It's like, if you're going to get back into that world, you might as well do the second one, especially if we're here, you know what I'm saying? And we're young enough to like still do it with a passion and this, that, and the other, and try to make a good movie. So, you know, luckily we were able to like put it together and like get it greenlit, shot it in Rhode Island, like thanks to Artists for Artists and my business partner, you know, Johnny Ryan, who's from there, and like,
That's your production company, right?
yeah. Got a bunch of like, you know, whatever tax credits to make the budget make sense, and it was good for me because it was right up the street, you know what I mean? And my girls were in school till late June or something like that, so they were able to take the train up on the weekend, you know what I mean, as opposed to like having to shoot it in the middle of nowhere or something like that. So it all became, you know, a good positive thing. And then we actually made something that people enjoyed, you know what I'm saying? And then it broke records, you know what I'm saying?
Debuted as
Like,
Paramount Plus his most watched original film ever.
ever, you know what I'm saying? Like several weeks at #1, this, that, and the other. So like it was all very positive. And it was positive for our company because it was like, we making history too. Took the first Paramount movie to Rhode Island kind of thing, you know what I mean? So it was just like all, you know, all around really good. And then also setting up as the, you know, the Kenan and Kel world continues to grow now, you know what I'm saying? Because we know we can go work on this project, you know, if he got a project, he can go do it. If I got a project, I can go do it. But if we come together and do something, we know it's going to be like pretty dynamic. So that's a beautiful thing, you know, because we laid a lot of track work early as opposed to like having to figure it out middle age.
That's right.
The cartoon was happening?
I don't know. I think there's an opportunity to do even a third one before we do the cartoon kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Just because the second one did so well, you can continue that world and keep on getting it, you know?
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you one thing, man. You was on Stephen Colbert's show, and you said that Seinfeld said, you told Seinfeld he owed Colbert an apology.
Yeah.
For what?
On that episode of Comedians in Cars that Colbert did with Seinfeld was like, it was just a bit that I wanted to do for the sake of doing bits, so it wasn't even really that serious, but Seinfeld was saying like his show about getting coffee was way less stressful than Colbert's show, which is like obvious. But to me, it was like kind of like minimalizing Colbert's dedication. You know what I mean? He's one of the most highly dedicated, intelligent performers that we have. And the fact that he does it, you know, should be shown a little more respect kind of thing. But I was just talking shit.
Starting trouble between the white people for no damn reason.
No damn reason. But it worked.
All right. Well, we appreciate you for joining
That's
us,
right.
brother.
Kenan Thompson, man.
Get his new
man.
book, When I Was Your Age, Life Lessons, Funny Stories, and Questionable Parenting Advice from a Professional Clown.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us. Put the glasses back on.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for having me, man. Yeah, y'all need a guest chair.
Do you do Wake and Bake,
Why
Kenan?
y'all let the guest sit and...
We are. We Jess Hilarious starts on Monday.
That's right.
And we're gonna have the new setup.
Hers?
Yeah. Well, no, she
that's not
got
hers.
a
That's gonna be the
different
guest
chair.
She got a different
okay.
So
chair.
that's gonna be for the guests.
Oh,
yeah,
dope.
yeah.
Dope. I'm
But
glad
why-
I came right before that.
Do you
Yeah,
do?
right
No,
before that.
you actually could have been the first if you wanted to.
It's all good.
Do you
was
do
gonna
Wake
say-
and Bake in the morning?
Who's that?
Wake and Bake, smoke weed in the early
I
morning.
don't know nothing about that.
Oh, okay, never mind.
You're trying to hurt your kid sponsors now and all that, right?
I mean, you know, sponsors are, you know, easy to talk to, especially when you go and get in front of them. It's like, hey, man, I don't know what he was talking about.
You know, Charlamagne
have
does
to
a little
worry
drugs.
about
You know,
it.
he drinks early in the morning. Don't worry about it. He's just talking.
You know,
Kenan
legalities,
Thompson.
man. We keep everything legal.
There you go. Kenan Thompson is The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.